Photographs and videos have emerged of rebels in Yemen armed with Canadian-made sniper rifles. If this is true, Canadian weapons that are being used in the Saudi-backed war where human rights violations are rampant, this will be against Canadian law.
Well, the Canadians never sold them to the Houthi rebels, and they didn't sell them to the Iranians. We know that much, but we do know that they sold a whole bunch of them to the Saudi Arabians. Now, the Houthis are saying that they basically stole these weapons from the Saudi Arabian Guard patrols or the Border Patrol, or confiscated, let's say, let's not say stole, and they were showing them off to see, that we had a mission, we beat these guys, and these are the guns that we have. There are only a couple that have been seen either in videos or in photographs, but usually that's just a tip of an iceberg in a situation like that. There's also a theory that Saudi airdrops, which they're supplying the other forces there in Yemen who are fighting the Iran-backed Houthis, and they're backing the current president, that would be the Saudi Arabians, that their airdrops might go missing sometimes, that they're not really too particular where they drop these things, and sometimes the Houthis pick them up, which means if the Houthis are picking them up, well, why not Al-Qaeda? Al-Qaeda's in Yemen as well, so they could be getting their hands on Canadian weapons as well. And this is a big thing here in Canada, because Canada is not supposed to be selling weapons to anybody that is fighting against Canada, anybody that has a UN embargo against them, or any country that's violating human rights. Now, Canada's saying, well, we're not selling it to Yemen, but Saudi Arabia doesn't exactly have the best human rights record if we're going to start digging a little bit deeper. The Liberal government under Justin Trudeau hasn't changed a single thing. We have a $15 million arms deal, it's a light armored vehicle deal with the Saudi Arabians. That didn't go away, but the Liberals are saying, well, it's this arms deal, it's just light armored vehicles. They're not going to be used for any type of nastiness in Saudi Arabia or beyond. It's just simply not true. We vote our governments in, and we'd like to see some action on their part. The Americans are doing it tenfold, probably even more than we are. Obviously, you guys make a lot more weapons. For Canada, Saudi Arabia is our #2 for weapons sales after the United States of America. That's a major issue. We really got to pick our bedfellows a little bit better.
That is certainly a big...
Yemen's is a civil war fed and stoked by many regional players.
She was an unusual looking weapon, I think.
How strange then to see evidence that Canadian weapons may be playing a role in that mess.
Particularly the LRT-3, they're so distinctive visually that there aren't too many other rifles that look like them.
The photos and video were posted on social media, and local news outlets reported that Iran-backed Houthi rebels seized the weapons from Saudi forces in battle. Quite a coup for a group that's under a UN arms embargo. Several experts consulted by CBC News confirm one of the weapons is likely a Canadian-made LRT-3, a 50 caliber sniper rifle that could have a range of more than 2 kilometers.
But it does look like some border security forces on the Saudi side may have been ambushed by Houthi forces and had a number of their weapons taken.
The manufacturer, PGW Defense Technologies, would not confirm that it exports such rifles to Saudi Arabia. Its website says that the Royal Saudi Land Forces are among its clients. But in response to our questions, the owner would only say that all our exports are undertaken via the Authority of Export Permits, which are issued by the Government of Canada. But Saudi soldiers photographed at that border during a media tour last year carried what experts believe is the sniper rifle showed in this video, a PGW Timberwolf. Despite its terrible human rights record, Saudi is one of the top importers of Canadian small arms, some $28 million worth over the past decade.
an obligation on the part of the Canadian government once they authorize arms transfers to make sure that they don't get diverted into the wrong hands.
Ottawa says they do not have information on Canadian weapons being used in Yemen. If such exports fall into the wrong hands, quote, "We do work with exporters to ensure that appropriate measures are immediately taken to prevent a recurrence." Saudi airstrikes have killed hundreds of civilians and destroyed an MSF hospital.
This is about accountability.
Canada should stop its exports, says Amnesty International.
For many Western governments, selling weapons to the Gulf states was very convenient because they would place large orders and there was a feeling that they wouldn't be used. That picture has changed.
The capture of arms happens in every combat zone, but rarely with Canadian weapons. In an increasingly volatile region, there could be more. Nalai.